I am Sienna.
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 Sienna College offers an exceptional private education with a unique foundation of liberal arts, career preparation, and Franciscan values.
This aisle isn't big enough for 2 zeros.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Is that all you got?
I'm up to my knees in 0 calories. Pepsi to the max, so let's drink all of these.
Snoop! Pepsi Max. Too much taste to be called a zero.
First team all-conference guard Justin Robinson in the Rider University Bronx, set to take on Canisius in quarterfinal number 4 of the 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Championships. Next. Welcome to the 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships presented by Pepsi Max. The arena is dark as we get set for Canisius and Rider. And we take a look at the Spark Energy brackets brought to you by New York Life. 3 of the 4 spots in tomorrow's semifinals are set. Fairfield and St. Peter's will play in the first game, and then Iona awaits the winner of our nightcap here this evening. And welcome everybody back to Bridgeport, Connecticut. Doug Sherman along with former Division I assistant coach Rod Kennedy. Well, this could be like the 4-5 game we started with, at least on paper, the most competitive ball game we've got.
Yeah, both times these two teams played, it came down to a last-second shot. A win for Rider on the road, and then for the first time ever, Canisius able to win on the road with a last-second shot by Bilardo to finish things off for Canisius.
Okay, let's take a look at our surprise. It's Bridgeport Star Watch, Elton Frazier and Justin Robinson.
Oh, Frazier, one of the best athletes in the MAAC. He's got 36 dunks, but Doug, his game has evolved. He's more than just an athlete. He's become one heck of a player. You see his offensive efficiency. And then Justin Robinson having a terrific senior season. Top 10 in the MAAC in scoring, assists, foul shooting percentage, as well as three-point percentage. A real handful with the basketball in his hands.
Log on to surprisesbridgeport.com to learn all that Bridgeport, Connecticut has to offer. We'll take a break and come back with Elton Frazier and the Griffs from Canisius, trying to take down the Rider Bronx for a spot in the semifinal round.
Someone, possibly you, pays for the electricity that powers this screen. Would you like to pay less? You have a choice. Spark Energy is here to save you money on electricity. It's the same power over the same lines, but with lower prices. Visit us online at sparkenergy.com/TV, where it's easy to switch and learn how Spark Energy gives back to your community, because we empower what matters.
The 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships are brought to you by Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Spark Energy, empower what matters. FYE, strictly for your entertainment. Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock, is proud to sponsor the MAAC. And by the 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships. Buy your tickets today on Ticketmaster.com, MAACsports.com, or by calling 1-800-745-3000. The 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships. Every game counts. And let's take a look at the Spark Energy starting lineups, beginning with the senior-laden group from Canisius College. The only interloper, Gabby Villardo, the transfer from South Florida. They'll also have a key senior coming off the bench, and we'll talk much more about that. Tomas Vazquez-Simmons is the other member of this very accomplished senior class, both on the court and in the classroom. Starting five for Rider, you got to begin with Justin Robinson, all conference first team, but Novar Gadsden playing as well as anybody in the conference over the last month. Anthony Miles, Mike Ringgold, and Danny Stewart named earlier this week the MAAC Rookie of the Year. And now here's a look at our coaching matchup, brought to you by Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock, Tom Parada. This is his 15th MAAC tournament. 4 as a player at Fordham, 6 as an assistant coach at Niagara, and now in his 5th season as head coach at Canisius. And Tommy Dempsey, year number 6 as head coach at Rider. He too was an assistant coach in the MAAC at Rider under then head coach Don Harlem, now his boss as athletic director at Rider University. And this is a Rider program that joined the MAAC in 1997 and has never won the MAAC tournament in its 13 years in the league. They 3 times have won the regular season championship. They have twice been to the finals, but they lost in 05 to Niagara and lost in 08 to Siena. But as the number 3 seed coming in here, Rider certainly has as good a chance as anybody to make it to Monday and advance to the NCAA tournament. The opening tip goes out of bounds off of Anthony Miles, and so Canisius will have the ball first. Robert Goldsberry back in the Canisius starting lineup. He has started now the last 3 games after coming off the bench, after suffering a head injury. And that's just the style of play that he has. Very efficient. Julius Coles, no. And Novar Gadsden with the defensive rebound.
And an emphatic rebound. Both these teams want to get out and transition. It's a good matchup because both these teams have athletic forwards that can take you away from the basket.
Well, we talked a lot in our last game, Rob, about the offensive versatility of Iona. A lot of that can be applied to this Rider team on offense, and there are elements that we will see in Canisius as well.
I agree. Certainly throughout the season, the 2 best offensive teams in this league have been Iona and Rider. And when they played, it was a game that went up and down, especially the game at Rider. 100-96 in overtime. Little pace to that one.
A lot of fun to watch. Mike Ringgold draws a crowd. Rider has a roster full of players who can shoot the 3. Including this man, Justin Robinson, blocked from behind by Coles.
Those 2 guys were former roommates at Blair Academy, and Coles has had the better of it in the matchups between those 2 guys throughout their career. Coles has certainly had Rider's number, averaging over 16 a game in his 8 games against the Bronx.
There's Robert Goldsberry's rainbow 3 that he hits at 45%.
Yeah, he's lucky we're in the arena. Kessler, that might have hit one of the lights there.
You're right, either there or the Bronx Zoo. It would have hit the roof.
Goldsberry, though, 45% on the season for beyond the 3-point line. Second best in the MAAC.
Offensive foul by Robinson, and what do you know? It's Goldsberry standing there to take the charge.
Oh, you talk about it a lot of times. You got to know your scouting report. He's a guy that's going to slide under and be a pest defensively and give up his body. Robert Goldsberry plays the game like a football guy without a helmet.
Well, you mentioned the old teammates at Blair Academy. Justin Robinson, the senior point guard for Rider, and Coles for Canisius. They both had culture shock going to Blair Academy. I mean, Coles is from Harlem and had never been out in the country for any stretch of time, had never been around that many white people until then. Meanwhile, you've got Robinson coming from London, and they both had to figure their way, and they both have succeeded very, very well.
And both of them credit their high school coach, Joe Mantegna, who I saw in a breakout at the concession stand. So Joe up here to get a chance to see 2 of his former players going head-to-head. But Blair, a terrific prep school that's had a great line of players come through there, including guys that have gone on to terrific careers in the NBA.
No doubt about it. Gabby Villardo hits the 3 for the Griffs. Foul and a chance for three at the other end. There's the size and strength of Novar Gadsden.
Yeah, he's got a great combination, size, strength, his ability to stretch out at three. He is a tough matchup problem for most teams. He and Logan's could be a really good matchup. Two guys that can take you inside when Logan's wants to.
Yep.
And certainly can also stretch out the defense on the perimeter.
Yeah, a couple of left-handers, well built with the ability to knock down the three as well. So Gadsden gets the traditional three-point play, and that's got the Bronx on the board. And he has the takeaway for Ryder.
Now turnover forced by the full court pressure.
Ryder in the gray uniforms with the cranberry lettering and white trim. How about Goldsberry going between the legs from behind of Ringgold to knock that ball out of bounds?
He just flies his body around.
My goodness. Robinson catch and shoot.
You got to find him on baseline out of bounds. That's just a breakdown defensively. Can't allow him to get off those easy shots off special situations.
Well, he's only a half tick behind Goldsberry in efficiency from behind the arc. Goldsberry at 45%, number 2 in the league. Robinson at 44% is number 3. And the takeaway by Miles.
How about Miles getting his first start of his career here in the MAAC tournament? Jonathan Thompson suspended earlier today and will not be available, and that could end up being a big factor because Thompson, even though he only scores it at 6 a game, is their secondary ball handler, taking some pressure off of Robinson, some pressure on the freshman Miles, and he's been up to it so far.
Well, Thompson is best in the league at assist-to-turnover ratio and taking care of business. Ryder on a roll after Canisius scored the first 6. They have gone cold, and the Bronx have rattled off 8 in a row. Reggie Groves in for the first time, and Bellardo goes out after having turned it over. Tom Parada has had to lean more on Reggie Groves after the injury to Robert Goldsberry. And Groves has done a nice job of earning and keeping some of that playing time. Gadsden off the mark, and Groves the rebound. Goldsberry works against the man-to-man. Shot clock down to 7. Coles glances in that direction. And the senior from Harlem misses the left-handed shot. Stewart, the rookie of the year, triggers out to Robinson. Nice job by Groves there that time to recognize in transition. Go get Robinson.
Yeah, if you get yourself back into the lane, it's going to be a 3. Bronx get a ton of 3s in transition.
Nine to shoot. Bad pass by Gadsden as Coles knocked it away.
Yeah, good help to come in there on that floated pass. Able to get a deflection.
There's a three-point try that's way too long. Logan's felt he was fouled on the shot. Instead, it goes out of bounds as we had to break. Keep an eye on Robert Goldsberry, number 3 in blue. He goes from the back door to get the loose ball.
This aisle isn't big enough for 2 zeros.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Is that all you got?
Yes, I'm up to my knees in 0 calories. Pepsi to the max, so let's drink all of these.
Pepsi Max. Too much taste to be called a 0.
On Blu-ray and DVD.
Join yourself down. It's the name of love.
Barry.
Oh, God.
God can't hear you, Barry.
Oh, too.
There are 2 things in this world. Sexy sex and boring death.
I want to grow a beard. On January 4th.
I had no idea. This was a dinner for extraordinary people.
Find out who's the biggest schmuck.
Your guy is amazing.
When you own Dinner for Schmucks.
Mamma mia, papa pia. Baby got the diarrhea. Hey, Tim!
In stores now on Blu-ray and DVD.
Some members of the Bronx Zoo have made the trip here to Bridgeport from Lawrenceville, New Jersey, rooting on the Ryder Bronx. Let's take a look at the Be Smart, Drive Smart keys to the game. Rob?
Well, for Canisius, they've got to have some balance. They can't just be a donut team. They've got to get some scoring inside. They've got the 5 seniors, so you've got to step up and make sure you take care of the moment. Don't allow yourselves to get knocked out of the tournament. For Ryder, they've got to finish off defensive possessions by rebounding the basketball, and then they've got to hold the line, the three-point line as well as the foul line. Got to get themselves to the line, and then they've got to convert.
We're here in Bridgeport, Connecticut with our 4th men's quarterfinal on this Saturday at the MAAC Championship, along with Joe Boylan and Rob Kennedy. This is Doug Sherman. Ryder is taking on Canisius. The Griffs scored the first 6 points of this ball game on consecutive 3-point shots by Bellardo and Goldsberry, but Ryder has scored the last 8 points to take the lead and to catch up. Fairfield knocked out Marist in our quarterfinal action this afternoon, 55-31. St. Peter's took care of Loyola 70-60. And then earlier this evening, Iona had its way with the 3-time defending champs from Siena, 94-64. And so the Saints are out. The Gales are waiting for the winner of this ball game tomorrow. The MAAC Rookie of the Year, Danny Stewart, freshman from Philadelphia's Newman Goretti High School, with a pair from the free throw line. And that's 10 straight points for the Bronx. Groves being hounded. Tomas Vasquez Simmons into the ball game.
And great recovery by Ryder after they forced the trap. Able to get back out. Good hands, partner.
Absolutely.
One-handed there.
Absolutely.
That was pretty good. Ryder's been able to force a couple of turnovers. One time with the full court pressure, that time doubling not only off the high ball screen, but also doubled as soon as it went into the post.
Patrick Mansell is checked into the game for Ryder. A senior from Cheltenham, Pennsylvania. Out of the same high school as Baseball Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson. Not the Reggie Jackson doing big things at Boston College these days. Ringgold thinks better of trying to get past Vasquez Simmons. Mansell called for the travel. Mansell's specialty is that three-point shot, and he tried to use it to get by the defender off the pump fake, but he shuffled his feet.
And you got to expect that he's going to see a couple extra minutes here tonight with the suspension to Jonathan Thompson.
Rose posting Mansell into the corner. Elshwan Himes just into the ball game. Bellardo back in, and he pulls the ball back out. Canisius scoreless for the last 4.5 minutes.
Well, they knocked down those 2 quick threes, but since then, they've got nothing inside. Everything's been on the perimeter. Got to get some touches inside.
Himes tried to split the double team. Instead, it's Ringgold at the other end.
Another turnover turns into a quick 2. Ringgold so quick out in the open floor.
12 straight Ryder points. Groves. And again, Canisius getting everything in terms of shot attempts from the perimeter.
At times they become a donut team. He's got to get somebody that sits in the post and shapes up, wants the basketball inside to give you some of that balance.
Ringgold with a quick first step. Still working hard. Blocked by Elton Frazier. First time we've called his name. And Canisius with Groves turns it over.
Well, Mike Ringgold, the guy that all he does is make winning plays. So quick in the open floor. It's about his range at times, though, Doug. A guy, amazingly enough, who's scored nearly 1,400 points in his career. And really, his range is about 4 feet in, but what he does so well is find ways to score the basketball 4 feet in.
Well, he averages 12.6 per game, 10th best in the league, and he earned third team all-conference. Mansell from way downtown. Well, we've yet to call Elton Frazier's name in the half-court for Canisius. He is the Griff's leading scorer. And as you see, the struggles from the floor, the turnovers, and the poor shooting after hitting the early couple of threes. And here they go to Frazier on the baseline, and he turns it over with an offensive foul. Canisius has gone stone cold. Ryder has scored 12 straight points to seize the early lead.
I could smell smoke, and I could taste blood, and I could hear my wife screaming, "Katie's dead. Katie's dead."
Every day, I live knowing that she's never coming back.
Our lives were destroyed by the drunk who killed our daughter. We have to live every day with the weight of that crash.
How will I live without Kate?
Could you live with yourself if you murdered my daughter?
Anaconda Sports, your sports authority, proudly supporting local high school athletes throughout the region. We want to thank all the teams and coaches that have made Anaconda the #1 dealer in the Northeast. Football, baseball, basketball, soccer, whatever your sport, Anaconda has what you're looking for. From the latest gear and team uniforms to logo shirts and hats for your company. Make Anaconda your connection.
Hey, if you want to go for sports equipment, go to Anaconda Sports. It's awesome, baby.
The MAAC Television Network's coverage of the Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships is available in high definition. All coverage from here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Available in HD, that is from today through tomorrow. And then on to the championships on Monday, both for the women and the men. The women will be on ESPN-U at 1 o'clock Monday afternoon. And then the men's championship will be 7 o'clock Monday night on ESPN2 HD. For more information, log on to MAACsports.com. Doug Sherman, Rob Kennedy, Joe Boylan with you for the fourth of our 4 men's quarterfinals.
You see Ryder gets touches inside the paint. When you do that, it all of a sudden gives you some easier shots from the perimeter. You can't be a donut.
All right, let's go to the third member of our broadcast crew, former Rutgers assistant coach. Long day, Joe Boylan.
Yeah, it is a long day. You guys are amazing, really. Rob's right. Getting the ball inside and get it back outside, they'll get a lot better shots. One of the things I've always found is how your team and how coaches handle this last game. I mean, it's late in the evening. You don't normally play here. How are you going to play? One thing about offensive teams, they usually find a way to score. So we'll see how it goes. Ryder's been impressive after being behind, and Canisius hasn't scored for almost 6 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. But it's I think as a coach, it's always difficult to play this game.
No question about that. And we saw in the previous game, Joe, Iona, a team that scores, was able to score. And we'll see how it plays out here in this nightcap, where these guys have been sitting around all day long. I mean, you're used to being in a routine, and typically playing a night game is going to be 7 o'clock, and they don't tip off until whatever time it was we got started. So that's an extra 3-4 hours you got to fill in a hotel room.
And I think the key is you can't worry about getting all charged up. And, you know, if you give one of those Knute Rockne speeches, it's over in 2 seconds. You got to, especially in this late game, just come out and execute. If you run good offense and you play hard on the defensive end and you get some balance like they do right there, then all of a sudden you get yourself going. So it's got to be more about execution than it is just about energy and playing hard.
And they find Frazier inside for the layup, and that snaps a streak of 6 minutes and 45 seconds without a point for Canisius.
It also snaps a stretch of about 8 minutes without getting a basketball touch inside in the paint. Can't have 5 guys running around on the perimeter. When all of a sudden you throw the ball into the post, good things happen. He posts up, even though he doesn't score it, it draws the defense, and now all of a sudden you're putting pressure on him, and you get an open look inside for the likes of Elton Frazier.
And it took nearly 10 minutes for Canisius to get the ball to its lead scorer in a good position to score, Elton Frazier. Six now for Justin Robinson. Cole spins into traffic. Himes strong to the bucket, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, 2 different times we've seen Justin Robinson get himself open on good execution on the baseline out of bounds. So 6 points for Robinson off 2 baseline out of bounds, taking advantage of special situations.
Well, when you've got a guy who can stroke it like he does, you set screens for him and make sure he can get the ball in a good position to get clean looks.
They set the stagger, and that's where you got to communicate defensively. You got to talk through it, and you got to switch out and try to take away that corner jumper.
Elshwan Himes, 6'2" sophomore from DeWitt, New York, just outside of Syracuse. Gets 1 out of 2. He's another viable option for offense if you're Canisius. Comes in averaging 9 points per game, coming off the bench here tonight. Just past the midpoint of the first half, Novar Gadsden's pass taken away. Tough to get that one over Vasquez Simmons.
Yeah, he's so long and gets off the floor. Great timing. Not only the all-time shot blocker in Canisius history, but second best all-time in the history of the MAAC.
Behind only Deng Gai, former Fairfield star, right here in this building.
Had himself an opportunity, posted up inside. Vasquez Simmons has got to get a touch there.
7 to shoot. Throws to Vasquez Simmons.
Well, they spread the floor. Simmons ducks into the paint, able to find it.
Well, out of that last time out, the Griffs seem to have gotten themselves back together a little bit.
And that's the balance they need.
Logan's for 3. Gadsden is fouled after the rebound.
And that 3 by Logan's, that's a good shot there. That's in the context of what they're trying to do. Leads the league in 3-point percentage. There's a nice job moving without the basketball by Vasquez Simmons to be able to finish at the rim.
And I thought a nice job by Groves not to panic in that situation. Find one of his teammates. Gadsden. Logans goes up for the rebound.
Over top of everybody. Tell you what, Gadsden's been real aggressive on the offensive end. He's really trying to make things happen. Got to settle down a bit.
Goldsberry left alone. He will do that all night long.
And that time it was Gadsden that missed the defensive assignment. Got himself with his head turned and lost track of his man in Goldsberry.
Well, he was knocked out of the Niagara game January 28th. Goldsberry was with a head injury while diving for a loose ball. Sat out a handful of games and has played now the last 6, including the last 3 as a starter. Ringgold. And he's going to have a chance to go to the line for 3.
That's just a great individual effort right there by Mike Ringgold. He's long, bouncy, and crafty when he catches the ball in the post. One of the reasons why he's had such a fine career.
That bucket by Ringgold snaps a 6-0 Canisius run, spearheaded by the veteran, Robert Goldsberry.
For over 20 years, Outback Steakhouse has proudly supported our troops. Now, we invite you to join us. Come into Outback and order off our limited-time red, white, and bloomin' menu, featuring delicious new dishes and classic favorites starting at just $9.99. And you'll help us donate up to $1 million to Operation Homefront, an organization that provides support to our troops and their families. Outback, welcome home.
Someone, possibly you, pays for the electricity that powers this screen. Would you like to pay less? You have a choice. Spark Energy is here to save you money on electricity. It's the same power over the same lines, but with lower prices. Visit us online at sparkenergy.com/TV, where it's easy to switch and learn how Spark Energy gives back to your community, because we empower what matters.
We're back on a Saturday night in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Ryder and Canisius in our final quarterfinal game. Now the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Championship. And the Nutmeg State is the postseason basketball state. 47 games, 6 days, March 3rd through the 8th. The men and women of the MAAC here in Bridgeport. The men and women of the America East Conference up in West Hartford. And then the Big East Women's Tournament is at Hartford. So you've got lots of postseason hoops ongoing here in the state of Connecticut. Himes. That's a 3. Here comes Canisius. Tied at 17.
And that's what he does. Leads his team with 69 threes on the season. You got to go find him. He's a three-point specialist.
Miles.
And that is not the shot that Tommy Dempsey's looking at. A deep guarded 2 as you're fading away with the defender in your face.
Now, since Ryder scored 12 in a row, Canisius has scored 9 of the next 11. Vasquez Simmons around the rim and out. Backdoor pen, strong finish.
And look who's initiating the play, Mike Ringgold. You know, if you value the basketball and you value possession, shot selection, all of a sudden good things happen. You saw both ends, bad shots, a bad shot on one end by Miles and a difficult shot from Vasquez Simmons. Move the basketball, probe it, make somebody guard you a little bit, and all of a sudden you get yourself a look.
And that was another chance to see Brandon Penn, a 6'8" guy who can step you out, hits 42% from beyond the arc, but able to finish against Chris Manhertz, who is 6'8", 235. Yes, the versatility of Penn and Gadsden just impressed me so much. They've got the ability to do a lot of things out there for Ryder.
Hard matchups defensively because of their versatility.
Robinson couldn't find the range that time. Canisius down by 2 with the basketball. The Griffs come into the tournament having won back-to-back games last weekend to get over the 500 mark, 15 and 14 overall, 9 and 9 in conference play. It's the first time that Canisius has been at 500 or better at the end of the regular season in the MAAC in a decade. Goldsberry's going to have a harder time getting that shot off against Penn. The horn went off, but I guess the ball hit the side of the rim just in time, so no violation, but the ball goes over to Ryder. The men's and women's MAAC Golf Championships return to Disney's Magnolia Golf Course in Lake Buena Vista, Florida, April 29th through May 1st. For more information, log on to MAACsports.com. Well, I must say, there is a good crowd that has made the trip from Lawrenceville, both at center court across from us and on the baseline. A good number of students who've made the trip.
Well, that's what happens when you set a school record for regular season wins with 22. All of a sudden, you got yourself a bandwagon. A lot of those guys that are usually in the crowd at the Bronx Zoo made the trip.
Off the block by Manhertz. He gets it back, but like a bull through a China shot, he gets the offensive foul as Ringgold was waiting for him.
And that's where Bilardo's got to make a better decision with the basketball. He put his teammate in a tough spot. Manhertz coming in. He's got nothing to do but catch and plow through. Sometimes you got to be patient as the point guard and make sure that you're seeing everything that's developing. You don't want to put your teammates in a difficult position.
And now Canisius head coach Tom Parada going deep into his bench, bringing Rokas Gricius, a junior from Lithuania, into the game. Played only 7 games so far this year. And there you see Brandon Penn, after the power drive to the basket, stepping out to hit the 3.
That's what you were talking about. They create tough matchup problems. Can pull you away from the basket, but they do a good job of not just hanging out at the perimeter. They play a little inside out.
Now Brandon Penn, 6'8", 205, out of Robeson High School in Philadelphia.
Well, dribble penetration breaks the defense down to start off with from Robinson, and then Penn, who shoots it at 42%. You know, that's the strength of this Ryder Bronx team. They lead the MAAC at 41% from beyond the three-point line on the season, and they've got a lot of guys that can stretch you out.
Julius Scholes brings it back out to Bilardo. Screen and roll to Manhertz.
A good catch by Manhertz. Wasn't a great pass by Bilardo, but Manhertz stayed with it long enough to catch and finish.
Freshman out of Cardinal Spellman in New York City gets his first 2 points of the night. Ringgold does a terrific job just to lose Manhertz and get the layup.
He is fun to watch. He is the definition of a crafty pitcher. He throws junk at you all game long. Off speed, poking around on the corners. He keeps you off balance.
Yeah, and Rob, as Bilardo is denied by Danny Stewart. Back the other way we come. Here comes your man Ringgold. And realizes he didn't have possession, so he finds Penn for the wide-open 3.
And again, who's making a play? Mike Ringgold is involved with everything that goes on with this Ryder team. He may be third team all-league, but I tell you what, Tommy Dempsey wouldn't trade him for anybody.
Well, Rob, you're a guy who knows the grassroots of basketball in the Northeast better than anybody. And so you've been telling me from the first time I saw Mike Ringgold about him, and we can't say enough what you have said about Ringgold. don't focus on what he can't do. Let's focus on what he can do.
And what he can do is make winning plays for your team. And that's what he's done his entire career, whether it was on a high school level at Roman Catholic, winning Philly Catholic League championships, or playing for Mike Burns at Winchendon Prep. He's a guy that no matter where he's been, they've won ball games. Not surprising that he's part of the winningest class in the history of Rider basketball.
Not a coincidence.
No, he's the catalyst. I mean, certainly Justin Robinson has had the breakout senior season, but from the get-go, it's been Mike Ringgold throughout his career. Was a member of the MAAC All-Rookie team right from the get-go, and one of the reasons why this senior class has posted more than 80 wins and counting. 81 so far, and they've got a chance to continue to build on that.
And it's not like he just does it against the MAAC. He went for 24 one night at Pittsburgh.
Yep.
You know, so if you can go into the Peterson Event Center and drop 24 on the Panthers, you're getting it done.
Yep, Panthers clinching their Big East regular season title, and that's basically tantamount to winning yourself a national championship with the depth of the Big East this year.
Robinson quick to the hole. Second opportunity was missed by Dira Ndiazuma.
But you saw the burst of speed of Robinson in the open floor as fast as anybody in this league. Got there, just didn't finish it.
Yeah, young man spent the summer with the British national team playing in the European Championships, and he has certainly grown in terms of his ability over his 4-year college career. Coles catch and shoot.
Well, Coles, as we said, has certainly had Rider's number throughout his career. Canisius 5 of 11 from beyond the arc so far. If they had a little balance, if you got any scoring inside, you'd be right there.
Penn. Gadsden goes over the back of Vasquez Simmons, but the foul goes against Vasquez Simmons.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Little riding time that time from Gadsden coming over the back, but he got away with it.
Our fourth quarterfinal between Rider and Canisius. Manhurst playing like a man for the Golden Griffins.
Kate could not have been happier.
And she told me it was the best day of her life. Well, I placed her in a limousine for the ride home. There was a drunk driver. He drove straight into us, and I could hear my wife screaming.
I was looking on the floor for Kate to make sure that she was okay. Her head had been torn from her body.
Every time you get behind the wheel drunk, you put all of us at risk. Could you live with yourself if you murdered my daughter?
As your love has evolved, so have your gifts. From I like you, I really like you. I love you. I will always love you. And sometimes a gift says you mean more to me than anything else in the world. Life insurance from New York Life ensures your loved ones will always be taken care of. With 166 years of financial strength, it's the most selfless gift you can give. New York Life, the company you keep.
Before we went to break, there was a foul call that apparently Tomas Vasquez Simmons was called for boxing out too well.
Well, you're going to see right here Vasquez Simmons with the terrific box out. You could use this as a demonstration tape on how to block out as Gadsden comes in, puts his body on him. Gadsden clearly comes over the top, but instead of the over-the-back call, they have the foul against Vasquez Simmons. So it could be an instructional tape for blocking out, not an instructional tape for the officiating.
Well, they missed that one. And Ryder takes advantage.
Getting up in the full court pressure on the made foul shot. Good job to get the ball in the center of the floor.
Frazier off the mark. Robinson with his head on a swivel. Waits for the trailer Gadsden. And back to the point guard.
Even though they miss, that's a way to share the basketball.
Under 2 minutes remaining first half. Canisius down by 7 with the basketball. The winner will face Iona in the semifinals tomorrow at 4 o'clock here in Bridgeport. Goldsberry spots Frazier, and you know what he's going to do.
Well, when he plays, there's a good chance he's going to be our Pepsi Slam dunk of the game. Nice backdoor. You see both defenders on that screen went out to defend on the perimeter. Missed communication. You saw both Robinson as well as Miles coming out. You don't want to leave that guy wide open. Nobody near him.
Well, that's his 87th career slam, 37th this year. And when he was a freshman, while he had that leaping ability, he didn't have those shoulders, didn't have the upper body strength that to go against a Novar Gadsden, draw the contact, and still be able to finish.
Yeah, good point, Doug. He also didn't have the skill set to go along with that athleticism. And what he's done is he's now gone from just a great athlete to a very good player. He's got good skills to complement that athleticism.
Yeah, the word that Tom Parada used is morphed. He has morphed from being just an athlete playing basketball to being a good basketball player. And he's been the most consistent player for the Griffs this season. Takeaway by Coles. Out of control into traffic, no foul, just a turnover. Miles didn't feel the defender coming from behind him. And the defender gets called for the foul. Well, let's go to Elton Frazier, who is a regular on ESPN SportsCenter for Top Plays. It's up the ball game.
How about that? Thrown down by Elton Frazier. Down throws Frazier. There goes Frazier throwing it down, and the lob from Villardo.
There goes Frazier. There goes Frazier.
And there's just a little taste that anytime the television cameras are around, Elton Frazier, young man out of Corcoran High School in Syracuse, he is acutely aware of the fact that, hey, I got a shot at getting on SportsCenter tonight.
Well, Miles gets bailed out. Bad shot in transition. Worst defense to foul him on that bad shot. Able to knock down both foul shots. Stretch the lead back out to 6.
Himes around Stewart. Stewart with a nice recovery to bother that shot. Not a place that Elshwan Himes usually is comfortable. Down amongst the big boys. And there you see the list of what Elton Frazier has done to get himself onto SportsCenter. 3 times he has made the top 10 list. And we just saw numbers 4 and 1. And, you know, watch your late SportsCenter from the West Coast, because there might be another one coming.
And it's not like all of a sudden they've got all 30 games televised. So no. I guarantee you he's got as high a percentage of games on TV as ended up on SportsCenter's top 10 plays as anybody in the country. Well, except for Blake Griffin, because he's on every game.
10 to shoot. Goldsberry way off the mark that time. And a timeout called by Ryder with 22.9 remaining in the half.
Oh, use it or lose it timeout. Tommy Dempsey wants to set up and make sure that he dictates where the basketball is going on this last possession.
Well, coming up on the MAAC halftime report, our news and notes from around the conference. And around the championship tournament, we'll also have our plays of the day from Saturday quarterfinal action. We've got Fairfield, St. Peter's, and Iona already on to the semifinal round, and then we'll have our first half highlights and statistics from our ball game here.
And as Tommy Dempsey's diagramming what they're going to do offensively, let's see if Tom Parada switches things up defensively coming out of the timeout.
Well, he comes out with Manhertz, Himes, Vasquez Simmons, Goldsberry, and Groves on the floor.
And it looks like they're going to do that as they extend the floor.
Ringgold, Miles, Robinson, Stewart, and Penn on the floor for the Bronx. Down to 7. Robinson's got to go. Ringgold from the high post, trying to set up Penn. And that didn't work out nearly as well as the Bronx were hoping.
Well, Penn had enough time. He thought he had to get rid of the shot too quickly. That's where you got to make sure you're looking at the basket and being able to recognize the shot clock winding down.
But a solid first half for the third-seeded Rider Bronx. Justin Robinson and the boys heading to the locker room with a 31-25 lead over Canisius. We'll be back with our MAAC halftime report right after this.
On Blu-ray and DVD.
Join yourself there. It's the name of love.
Barry.
Oh, God.
God can't hear you, Barry.
Love it too. There are two things in this world. Sexy sex and boring death. I want to grow a beard.
On January 4th.
I had no idea. This was a dinner for extraordinary people.
Find out who's the biggest schmuck.
Your guy is amazing.
When you own Dinner for Schmucks.
Mamma mia, papa pia. Baby got the diarrhea. Hey, Tim.
In stores now. On Blu-ray and DVD.
This aisle isn't big enough for 2 zeros.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Is that all you got?
I'm up to my knees in 0 calories. Pepsi to the max, so let's drink all of these.
Pepsi Max. Too much taste to be called a zero.
Back here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. 31-25, Rider with a 6-point lead over Canisius in our 4th men's quarterfinal of the Spark Energy MAAC Championships presented by Pepsi Max. And let's take a look at the 2010-2011 MAAC Championship winners that have been crowned so far, including the men's soccer team from St. Peter's College and the volleyball team from Niagara University. Again, congratulations to each and every one of these teams and individuals who have won MAAC championships this school year. But they're not alone. There will be more to come. Take a look at the upcoming MAAC championships. And they include the men's and women's golf that we've been telling you about at beautiful Lake Buena Vista, Florida, at Disney's Magnolia Golf Course, April 29th through May 1st. And the Women's Lacrosse Championship will be held at Iona College in New Rochelle that same weekend, April 29th through May the 1st. For more information, log on to MAACsports.com. Take a break and come back with some of the highlights from quarterfinal Saturday. Our plays of the day from Webster Bank Arena at Harbor Yard here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. It's been a long day of basketball here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. We are in the final of the 6 games played today. 4 men's quarterfinals following the 2 women's semifinals. And Ryder has a 6-point lead over Canisius. And let's take a look at the plays of the day from the men's quarterfinals that preceded this ball game here tonight.
Well, St. Peter's a team that gets it done with their defense. Not surprising. Ryan Bacon able to turn some defense into offense. Terrific performance by Ian Phelan, the 2 seniors. And for Fairfield, well, it was all about their defense. Holding Maris to a record 31 points and coming up with 19 steals, including that one from Derek Needham. And then the end of an era. Why not? Here comes maybe the start of a new era as Michael Glover with a dominant performance. Number 1 on his jersey, number 1 as far as our performers of the day, 31-11 for Michael Glover.
And those brackets brought to you by New York Life. Fairfield will play St. Peter's in the 2 o'clock game tomorrow. Iona still awaiting the winner of this one here.
And one thing's for sure, we're going to have a new champion. 3-time defending champion Siena went down hard, losing by 30. Iona incredibly impressive in their performance here earlier tonight.
And that champion will be crowned here on Monday night around 9 o'clock. You can see it on ESPN2 with a tip-off at 7 p.m. in beautiful high definition from Webster Bank Arena at Harbor Yard here in Bridgeport. Take another break and come back with more of our halftime report with Canisius trailing Ryder 31-25 at the intermission.
This aisle isn't big enough for 2 zeros.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Is that all you got?
Yes, I'm up to my knees in 0 calories. Pepsi to the max, so let's drink all of these.
Pepsi Max. Too much taste to be called a 0.
I could smell smoke, and I could taste blood, and I could hear my wife screaming. Katie's dead. Katie's dead.
Every day, I live knowing that she's never coming back.
Our lives were destroyed by the drunk who killed our daughter. We have to live every day with the weight of that crash.
How will I live without Kate?
Could you live with yourself if you murdered my daughter?
Back in southern Connecticut, where Canisius trails at halftime, 31-25 behind Ryder. And welcome back, everybody. Doug Sherman along with former Division I assistant coach Rod Kennedy. Canisius scored the first 6 points in this ball game on a couple of threes, but then Ryder scored the next 12, and the Broncs have been in the lead ever since.
Well, they did a good job making sure they got out and defended on the perimeter. And Canisius, again, they didn't have that scoring balance of getting guys that can score it inside in the paint.
Let's take a look at our first half highlights. And as mentioned, Robert Goldsberry hit one of the 3-point shots that helped the Griffs get off to the early start.
Well, as we said, they were able to knock down their first 2 threes, and then they got themselves in that scoring drought. But credit them for coming back on the other side. Mike Ringgold, the catalyst as he has been all season long, getting things going, his quickness out on the break, and then just making winning plays. Nice bounce pass there on the backdoor cut for the finish from Brandon Penn.
And here are our halftime statistics brought to you by FYE.
And not surprising, points in the paint. Ryder getting some post-ups. They've got a little bit of an advantage. And points off turnovers. 9 Canisius first half turnovers. A lot of those, Doug, in that stretch where all of a sudden Ryder went on that 12-0 run to get themselves the lead.
And one of the big problems for Canisius now is that Greg Logans played 11 minutes, picked up a couple of fouls. He took 3 shots, 2 of them from beyond the three-point line. Logans is still scoreless.
And he's a guy that when he can stretch out beyond the three-point line, remember, he leads the MAAC in three-point field goal percentage, but he also, Doug, is one guy that when you throw the ball to him inside is an accomplished low-post scorer. He might be the hardest guy to guard inside outside of Michael Glover and Ryan Rossiter when he posts up. Problem is he doesn't post up a whole lot.
Well, in their regular season finale, Logan scored 26 points and hit 8 3-point baskets, and again, they've got nothing from him here tonight.
You got to make sure it's not fool's gold. They've got other guys that can knock down threes. When you look at their team, they don't have other guys that can score it inside. Sometimes you got to sacrifice what you can do individually to try and help your team win. He's the only guy that can really score with his back to the basket. He's got to get himself inside.
And so for this Canisius team loaded with seniors, they are staring at potentially only another 20 minutes left in their careers if they can't come from behind in the second half against the Ryder Broncs. Well, if you are between the ages of 6 and 16, make sure to register for the MAAC Bounce to the Arena. It will take place Sunday at noon in downtown Bridgeport. Participants will receive a basketball that they will bounce along a planned route starting at People's United Bank and finishing right here at Webster Bank Arena at Harbor Yard. Participants will also receive admission to the men's semifinal games of the Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships. For more information, log on to MAACsports.com. Mike Ringgold, the ultimate glue guy, 31-25. He's been a big part of the reason why the Broncs enjoy a 6-point lead at the break.
Great seats are now on sale for the 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, March 3rd through the 7th at Webster Bank Arena at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, Connecticut. 20 teams, 18 games, 2 champions, and plenty of edge-of-your-seat action. For tickets, go online to MAACsports.com, Ticketmaster.com, or call Ticketmaster at 800-745-3000. The 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships. Every game counts.
Even in the most uncertain times, there are some things we know for sure. There will still be weddings, still be babies, and still be bright futures. That's why New York Life has been helping families plan for the expected and unexpected for 166 years. Backed by the highest ratings for financial strength, we're safe and secure, so you can be too. Give your family the gift of a secure financial future. New York Life, the company you keep.
Welcome back to the 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships presented by Pepsi Max. We are at Webster Bank Arena at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And just about set to start the second half. Ryder on top, 31-25. And let's take a look at our Surprise It's Bridgeport Star Watch update. And Elton Frazier, just like Greg Logans, where you been? They got to get them involved.
Yep, just 2 of 3 field goals. Remember, one of those field goals was on a switch where 2 guys went after the guy coming off the screen and was wide open. You got to figure out a way to get him more involved. Justin Robinson with a quiet first half as well. Remember, he struggled on senior night, was kind of out of sorts in that ball game and hasn't bounced back in a big way here tonight in that first half.
Log on to SurpriseIt'sBridgeport.com to learn all that Bridgeport, Connecticut has to offer. Mike Ringgold inbounds from right in front of us. He gives you a knowing nod, knowing you've been saying nice things about him again tonight.
He's one of those guys it's hard not to root for, how hard he plays.
And there is a terrific backdoor pass from your man Ringgold.
Well, great execution coming from the sideline as well by Tommy Dempsey to start off the half, but the ability to make it right off the bounce. A lot of guys have to get two hands on it, and by then the defender reacts, take it right off the bounce. Pete Carrill would be proud of that pass.
Goldsberry could have played for Pete Carrill as well. 8 points now off the back cut. Stewart drop it off. Ringgold carves space and goes right over Logan's for two.
That's another example of just being crafty, letting the play develop.
Well, if the first minute of the second half is any indication, Ryder's going to keep control of things.
Remember, we talked about one of the keys for Canisius, make it a senior moment. Sometimes it's really hard to send seniors home in any conference tournament. Well, we talk about the 5 seniors for Canisius. Remember, this is an accomplished senior class as well for the Bronx, winningest class in school history.
They've been augmented this year by the presence of that young man, Danny Stewart, 6'7" freshman from Philadelphia, who on Thursday was named the MAAC Rookie of the Year.
And he really came on as the year wore on. You look at his numbers, and he won that award not just because of his 7 points and 7 rebounds, but his defensive presence. The Bronx so much better defensively this year than they have been the last couple of years.
Foul called against Ringgold, and it'll send Logans to the line.
A quick start for that guy right there, Mike Ringgold, and as a result, quick start for the Bronx. Nice bounce pass and a finish by Miles. Well, one play he's initiating it with the backdoor pass. Another play he's finishing it up with the finish at the rim.
And he just has a knack for getting off his feet at the right time and getting up over the defender when the defender is on his heels.
Yep. Good sign, though, on the other end here for Canisius that they throw the ball to Logans inside in the post. He's only got 44 foul shot attempts on the season. Unbelievable. 8 out of the last 9 games, he hasn't gotten to the line. This from a guy who I'm telling you, I think may be the hardest guy to guard one-on-one in the low post. He just doesn't go there.
He's got his first 2 points of the night coming from the free throw line. 2 minutes into the second half. Ringgold. Well, he waited for Frazier to leave his feet. Frazier wouldn't leave his feet, so I'll shoot it anyhow.
Ball fake, ball fake. All right, if you're not going to go for it, I'm just going to score over you. Into double figures once again.
4-year starter. The only time he hasn't been a starter is on senior days, leading up to his senior year this year. Frazier back out to Goldsberry. Good ball movement. Ryder a perfect 4 for 4 from the floor this half. Make it 5 for 5.
Oh, when you get good shots and you take good shots, you're going to be able to convert. There's a good shot.
Elton Frazier going to the reverse.
Oh, good job by Canisius, even though they give one up in transition, to rush it right back up. And as we said, you've got to do a good job of finding good shots. Shot selection. You can't waste possessions.
Now he's a young man who joined the 1,000-point club on Sunday against Loyola. Smart move by Gadsden. When you're matched up with Goldsberry, take it right at him.
And that's the thing. He's not just hanging around out at the three-point line, even though he can make threes. He looks up, he sees that he's got a mismatch. He takes a 6-foot Goldsberry into the post and abuses him.
Yep. And that's no knock on Goldsberry. He's just a lot smaller, and he's going to stick his chin in there, but Gadsden is huge.
Yep, and again, it's recognizing that he ended up in a mismatch. And on a switch or whatever it was, Goldsberry ends up with the defensive assignment against Gadsden. That's not what they're looking for, so you got to make them pay.
Make them pay, and that's exactly what they did. Logan's inside with a left-handed finish.
Well, he snuck into the lane on a baseline out of bounds.
Well, at this time of year, we talk about it. The seniors want to play for another day. Logan's, Frazier, Goldsberry, Coles, and Vasquez Simmons, this 5-man senior class for Canisius, wanting desperately not to be knocked out of the quarterfinal round. They want to join Iona in our second MAAC semifinal tomorrow afternoon.
And Tom Parada trying to break Ryder out of that offensive rhythm that they've got going right now, executing. Switches up into the zone. You just got to make sure you go find guys out at the three-point line, especially Robinson and Gadsden. Tommy Dempsey recognizing that his team didn't recognize that the shot clock was down to 3. Takes the timeout to save it.
Coach Dempsey not happy that his team did not recognize and that he had to burn that timeout. He was stomping his foot from in front of his bench to let his team know, I'm not happy. Well, Novar Gadsden and the Ryder Bronx hoping they are one win away from making it to the MAAC semifinal round.
This aisle isn't big enough for 2 zeros.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Is that all you got?
I'm up to my knees in 0 calories. Pepsi to the max, so let's drink all of these.
Pepsi Max. Too much taste to be called a 0.
Dreams are forged. Character is tested. Teams are united. Champions win here. Watch the crowning of new NCAA wrestling champions March 18th and 19th on ESPN and ESPNU in high definition. For information, visit ncaa.com/wrestling.
We're back at the 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Championships presented by Pepsi Max. Ryder has itself a 10-point lead over Canisius, trying to earn a spot into the semifinals against Iona. Shot clock at 2. Miles unable to connect, but did a nice job to get that shot.
Yeah, got into a gap, though. If he kicked it out to the corner, Gadsden was wide open.
Justin Robinson off the front iron. Ryder basketball. The Bronx will have it when we come back once again. Another break here in Bridgeport. Ryder enjoying the double-figure lead.
on Blu-ray and DVD.
Join yourself to Is the Name of Love. Barry.
Oh, God.
God can't hear you, Barry.
Oh, too.
There are two things in this world. Sexy sex and boring death. I want to grow a beard.
On January 4th.
I had no idea. This was a dinner for extraordinary people.
Find out who's the biggest schmuck.
Your guy is amazing.
When you own Dinner for Schmucks.
Mamma mia, papa pia, baby got the diarrhea. Hey, Tim!
In stores now on Blu-ray and DVD.
As your love has evolved, so have your gifts. From I like you, I really like you. I love you. I will always love you. And sometimes a gift says you mean more to me than anything else in the world. Life insurance from New York Life ensures your loved ones will always be taken care of. With 166 years of financial strength, it's the most selfless gift you can give. New York Life, the company you keep.
In celebration of its 30th anniversary, the MAAC has compiled 30 memorable MAAC moments on Facebook. Check out the MAAC Facebook page at facebook.com/MAAC Sports to see all 30 moments and tell us what your favorite MAAC moment is. Robinson off the inbound.
That's where he's gotten both of his field goals have been off baseline out of bounds. Nearly stuck another three.
Foul called. Novar Gadsden picks up his third personal. And so Gadsden will be replaced by his classmate, Brandon Penn, a couple of young men from Philadelphia who have been nice cornerstones for Tommy Dempsey over the last 3 years. Elton Frazier calling for the ball in the high post. Now they go to Logan's in the high post. Himes off the mark. And the ball went up over top of the backboard. And so it goes to the defense. Robinson and Ringgold out there, along with Miles, Penn, and Danny Stewart. Now they double team Ringgold, and Bilardo does a nice job of digging the ball away.
That's the way to collapse inside.
Himes fouled by Anthony Miles, the freshman from Dover, Delaware.
Good drag behind, and again, when you shoot it as well as Himes does, you know the scouting report is close out, get out and crowd him, force him to put the ball to the floor. As he does that, he's able to find contact.
Goldsberry has replaced Groves. There's Logan's on the post.
A nice execution, good screen on the weak side, little flex cut to get himself into the post. Logan's starting to wake up because he's starting to get inside. All 6 of his points, 2 from the line, as well as both field goals, have been inside in the paint.
Robinson to the corner. That's a pretty nice putback by Danny Stewart.
A nice pass, right? Kick out to the corner, come up short, but that's what Stewart does. He tracks the basketball down.
Well, if you're Derek Wittenberg, that was a pass.
Yeah. Lorenzo Charles on the finish.
Absolutely. There's the athletic ability of Frazier, but doing it under control.
Yep. And where's he doing it? All of a sudden, they're starting to get some penetration into the lane.
Well, he has turned himself into a gym rat, worked on his game relentlessly this past summer, working on the jump shot, working on other parts of his game, not just the slam dunks. Bilardo took it away from Penn. Strong to the bucket.
Well, Bilardo had a rake down out of the zone, collapsing inside. This time, they're really starting to stretch the zone out. So you got to put the ball to the floor and get into gaps. Credit Bilardo for coming up with that steal. There's the soft spot of the zone defense. You get it to the high post, good things happen. Especially when they start stretching out, getting into passing lanes.
At the other end, Ryder does a nice job of attacking the Canisius defense. Bilardo can't make it 3 in a row. Logan's with the putback that's off the mark.
See Bilardo really getting out into the passing lanes out of the top of that zone, attacks the rim, and then they get the ball into the soft spot of the zone at the high post. You see the athleticism of the freshman Miles.
Let's check in with Joe Boylan and get his thoughts on what he's seeing here in the second half. Joe?
Well, it's interesting that Tom Dempsey timeout. I mean, he was upset, but you know, it's a chance to get his team's attention. Say, hey guys, we got 15 minutes and we're going to go to the semifinals. And with 3 seconds on the clock, they really listened. And the sense of urgency both teams are playing with now is really impressive.
Thank you, Joe. And Ringgold is down after hitting the floor hard. Well, Rob, as Joe talked about, the sense of urgency is something you see at this time of year. At least you hope you see. Sometimes you don't see it. But especially for guys who we saw the emotion from the Siena seniors who were knocked out and had their careers come to an end. Ryan Rossiter, Clarence Jackson. I mean, one way or the other, there's going to be a senior or 5 in this ball game who sees their college career come to an end.
Yep, and so you got to make sure you take advantage of the opportunity and make sure that you play in the moment. You know, it's one thing to get all emotional when the game's over. You got to make sure that you're playing with emotion, intensity, and executing. If you're a senior, you got to put the team on your back and make winning plays so that you don't have to worry about walking off and hugging guys at the end of the game. Here's that hard foul, smart foul right there by Vasquez Simmons, but Ringgold goes down hard.
He did not have a chance to brace himself at all.
And anytime he's able to go to the line and convert, it's a good sign for the Bronx. Just a 43% foul shooter on the season, and that's basically what he's been his entire career, under 50%.
So he's playing with house money on the second.
Well, looked good on that one. I mean, that even had some rotation to it. Every once in a while, he throws a knuckleball up there.
Maybe there's a crosswind here in the arena. Grimes, Logan, Vasquez, Simmons, Goldsberry, and Cole's on the floor. Nice set to find Goldsberry open.
There's another one of those seniors who doesn't want to go home. He gets a mark on his ball, huh? Got some hang time on that 3.
And he is within shouting distance of his career high, which was 15 at Northwestern State back in December.
Great defensive play by Coles to come up with the steal.
Then the missed 3 by Coles, 1 and done. Ryder on top by 7, 11 and a half remaining. Stewart faces up nicely, but missed it. Goldsberry attacks.
Logan sitting up inside the post. There's where you feed it to the big guy. Tell you what, give him a lot of credit. In this second half, he has done a great job of getting big by sitting down in the post. If you're going to post up, you can't stand up. You got to get low and make yourself available. That's exactly what Logans has been doing.
Well, he's strong. He's got long arms. He's got big hands. Carving out space down low is a great way to go for him. Nearly a turnover there. Goldsberry tried to give it to Logans. He took it off the shoulder and it bounced right back to Goldsberry.
And again, why are you giving it to him there? You know, just play on. There he is sitting again. Give him the basketball. I guess his teammates don't expect him to post up. Again, he's wide open and he's got the defender on his back. He's got to get a touch. Play through him, especially if he's going to post up inside.
Absolutely, and he's gotten all 8 of his points here in the second half while posting up. Now he has to vacate the post only because Himes was coming at him. And then they turn it over back to Ryder. Well, the combination of Robert Goldsberry from the outside and Greg Logans from the inside helping the Golden Griffins cut the lead down to 5 as they try to stay alive here at the MAAC Championships.
This aisle isn't big enough for 2 zeros.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Is that all you got?
I'm up to my knees in 0 calories. Pepsi to the max, so let's drink all of these.
Pepsi Max. Too much taste to be called a 0.
Kate could not have been happier.
And she told me it was the best day of her life. Well, I placed her in a limousine for the ride home. There was a drunk driver. He drove straight into us, and I could hear my wife screaming.
I was looking on the floor for Kate to make sure that she was okay. Her head had been torn from her body.
Every time you get behind the wheel drunk, you put all of us at risk. Could you live with yourself if you murdered my daughter?
Back here at the MAAC Championships, our 4th of 4 men's quarterfinals. And what do you know, Canisius back in the ballgame. And you know, Rob Kennedy, as you and I were young coming up, before the three-point line came into existence, it was elementary that you understood if you got the ball inside, you were going to be more efficient. You had a better chance of making the basket. Of course, there are exceptions to that, but by and large, a nearer shot makes you a better shooter. And we have seen that here for Canisius in the second half. They've done a much better job getting the ball inside. Their shooting percentage has gone up, and they get back in the ball game. But so many younger folks think about the three-point line so much, they forget about the fact that you shoot a better percentage usually in the paint than you do from outside.
Yeah, and certainly the three-point line has changed the game. And when you've got post guys that can stretch you out, boy, it's a great benefit. And Logan's leads the league in three-point field goal percentage, but you've got to be able to have that balance. You also got to be able to go duck guys inside because, again, you got to see what your team needs. And credit Tom Parada and credit Greg Logans for realizing that and starting to get them inside here in the second half. Their offense has been so much more efficient when they've gotten those paint touches. 53% here in this second half after shooting it at just 36% in the first half when they hardly got touches inside.
And again, Logans in the regular season finale knocked down 8 threes against Loyola, but he just hasn't been able to find the range from the perimeter here tonight, so they've gotten him inside, and he's been very efficient. Tough pass to handle. Nice job by Frazier to get it over into the corner. And the three-pointer knocked down by Julius Coles.
Oh, great job. Got the ball in. He didn't make the clean catch, stayed with it. And once you got the ball into the high post again, it collapses the D so that when you kick it out, now all of a sudden it's an open look.
Gadsden, tough pass. Can Robinson save? It frees Canisius for the break. Good foul given up. Make the Golden Griffins earn it at the free throw line.
A good hustle by Robinson to get after that ball, but you want to throw it towards your basket. Instead, threw it to a blue jersey. It becomes an assist. Ball going out right here. You just got to try to throw it up. Great hustle, but instead it turns into an opportunity out on the break for the Griffs.
And so Mansell gives up the foul to send Coles to the line.
I go back early in this second half when Ryder knocked down their first 6 field goals, and they were in an offensive rhythm. Tom Perrott and his staff doing a good job of mixing the defenses up. Went to the zone. It kind of broke that rhythm that the Bronx had going offensively. That kind of turned the tide and has allowed them to get back into the ball game. Ryder's got to get some penetration against this matchup. That is a deep 3. That's from the Pepsi logo over there.
11 points now for Penn. The quick answer by Frazier.
And we've seen Canisius do that a couple of times. Ryder scores at one end. Canisius gets it back quickly at the other.
Mansell from 22.
Yeah, Gadsden made that play, though. His ball fake, get the defender up, get some penetration inside, then kick it out for the 3. All of a sudden, we got some pace going here late in the day.
Lead back to 7 for Ryder. Frazier wide open from 15. Can't get the roll. Penn the rebound.
Yeah, Coles was there, thought he was going to have a tip. Just bounced a little higher off the rim than he expected.
Robinson couldn't connect.
He has not been able to connect once again tonight, struggling from the floor except for those couple of baseline out of bounds plays where he's been able to get himself free.
Bilardo got Gadsden on his heels, but then missed the shot. They've got 3 seconds to get it across. And they do. Robinson into the front court. Penn again from the same spot. Bilardo to the corner. Julius Coles, no.
And Robinson limping up the floor here, Doug. I'm not sure if he's got a cramp or...
No, when he went flying into the stands, remember to save the ball.
Okay,
he landed hard on the seats.
Yep.
I saw the grimace on his face, and I'm guessing that might be where it's from.
Yeah, he looked like he was gassed.
Here's Robinson for 3.
Or maybe not.
His third three-pointer of the night. And the lead just like that, back to double figures, and the Griffs turn it over.
And it looked like they were going to, again, take it right out of the net and rush it up. But there's the length of Gadsden, those long arms to come up with the steal.
Foul on Groves as he and Robinson got after it near midcourt. And that'll take us to our next media timeout. Robinson the 3, Ryder by 10.
Someone, possibly you, pays for the electricity that powers this screen. Would you like to pay less? You have a choice. Spark Energy is here to save you money on electricity. It's the same power over the same lines, but with lower prices. Visit us online at sparkenergy.com/TV, where it's easy to switch and learn how Spark Energy gives back to your community, because we empower what matters.
Great seats are now on sale for the 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, March 3rd through the 7th at Webster Bank Arena at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, Connecticut. 20 teams, 18 games, 2 champions, and plenty of edge-of-your-seat action. For tickets, go online to MAACsports.com, Ticketmaster.com, or call Ticketmaster at 800-745-3000. The 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships. Every game counts.
The 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships are brought to you by Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. FYE, strictly for your entertainment. New York Life Insurance Company. Learn more at newyorklife.com. And by the 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships. Buy your tickets today on Ticketmaster.com, MAACsports.com, or by calling 1-800-745-3000. The 2011 Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships. Every game counts. There you see Justin Robinson during the last timeout, speculating that he may have come away from when he dove into the front row of seats to save the basketball a little pain. Don't know what they're stretching him out for there, but he will stay in the ball game, and certainly the Bronx need him out there. He is their first-team all-conference point guard who runs the show for this club.
And again, with the suspension of Jonathan Thompson, they really don't have a secondary ball handler, so he has to stay on the floor even more.
That suspension was announced just before tip-off here tonight. Gadsden with a double dribble. And with that suspension, we've seen a lot more of Patrick Mansell on the floor for Ryder, the senior backup guard, who is not the ball handler that Thompson is, but he is a terrific three-point shooter. He just knocked down a three earlier here in the second half. Blocking foul against Brandon Penn. Second foul on Penn, and only the 6th against Ryder here in the half. Only 14 fouls against Canisius, and that may be a factor in the next couple of minutes if they've got to stop the clock. They're trying to get Ryder to the free throw line. Frazier puts it in.
A good energy to stay with the play there by Frazier. After Canisius got to within 3, it was a 9-2 Ryder run that got it back out to the double-digit lead. Here's where Canisius got to get on a run themselves.
13 points for Frazier. Novar Gadsden had a huge weekend to close out the regular season. He finds Mansell for another 3.
And you got to hug him out at the three-point line. Goldsberry got collapsed inside on a little penetration. You got to make sure you know who's in your area. If it's Mansell, you got to hug him.
Frazier answers once again.
Yeah, he's had the answer a few times. Got 15 points after the very quiet first half. He only got 3 shot attempts in that first half, so he's got 10 points here now in the second.
Now, he and Logans have been much more effective in the second half at the offensive end, but they've got to start getting some stops here at this end against Ryder.
Yeah, if you're going to make a run, you got to get stops.
Penn spins into the lane. Himes was stuck on a mismatch and picks up the foul.
You're going to see Robert Goldsberry get caught inside on the dribble penetration. See him get turned around. You've got to help, but you got to make sure when you've got a shooter in your area, you can't get turned. You got to be able to get your left hand up and try to get it into the lane and then recover back out to Mansell. You can't get turned. As soon as you start spinning like a top, you're in trouble.
Yep. Well, the MAAC is on Twitter now. Go to twitter.com/MAAC Sports to keep track of all the MAAC news and notes, the happenings from around the league. Frazier back out to Goldsberry. And the ball goes up and over the top of the backboard. Rider basketball.
Even though they missed that shot, it's a good open look for a good three-point shooter. Play a little inside out. Now they've got to get something going with their defense.
Nice block shot. There's a defensive stop for Canisius.
And Mike Ringgold is really limping coming up and down the floor right now.
Timeout, Canisius.
And there's Mike Ringgold. He is really struggling getting up and down the floor. I think when he may have gone down on that hard foul, looked like he had bounced back, but he is struggling getting up and down the floor. You can see him. I mean, that is a guy in a bit of pain. They need to think about getting him out of the ball game here.
Earlier in this half, he took a hard fall where he landed in a prone position, landed on his front side, and he seemed to have shaken it off, but certainly having trouble with something now. Here's a look at the TV schedule for the Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships for Sunday and Monday. Men's semifinal action beginning at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And then on Monday, the Women's Championship on ESPNU in the afternoon, followed by the Men's Championship, 7 o'clock on ESPN2 HD. Timeout here in Bridgeport as Mike Ringgold again hobbles back to the Rider University bench.
Even in the most uncertain times, there are some things we know for sure. There will still be weddings, still be babies, and still be bright futures. That's why New York Life has been helping families plan for the expected and unexpected for 166 years. Backed by the highest ratings for financial strength, we're safe and secure, so you can be too. Give your family the gift of a secure financial future. New York Life, the company you keep.
This aisle isn't big enough for 2 zeros.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Is that all you got?
I'm up to my knees in 0 calories. Pepsi to the max, so let's drink all of these.
Pepsi Max. Too much taste to be called a zero.
Final 4 minutes of regulation on quarterfinal Saturday. of the Spark Energy MAAC Championships here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And we're keeping an eye on Mike Ringgold, who, as we showed you going to break, is limping around the floor. The 6'7" senior from Philadelphia does not want to come out of the ballgame. And he is the inbound man now for Ryder. But as you were saying, Ron, you got to think about the potential of a game tomorrow and a game potentially Monday. And if a guy is really as hurt as he seems maybe to be, do you think about taking him out here?
Well, especially coming down the stretch the way he shoots it from the foul line, you really got to think about it. This is where he went down on this hard foul. Not 100% sure that this is where he got injured, but he goes down hard on the front of his leg. And he didn't want to sit down in the last 2 timeouts, Doug. You see him kind of standing up and swaying. He doesn't want to tighten up. Goldsberry misses the front end of the 1-and-1. That's the guy you want going to the line if you're Canisius, second best in the league at 83%.
Goldsberry wound up over the hockey boards here at the arena. That means he went flying past 4 rows of seats, and quite literally, as we take another look, he winds up over the hockey boards, which is right where he belongs.
Yep, as we said, a guy that gives up his body had an opportunity to get the lead back down and cut into it, but ended up missing the front end of the 1-and-1.
And now bodies flying the other way, and it's Julius Coles, another one of the Canisius seniors, as Ringgold, another senior for Ryder, tries to fight through the pain.
And here, if you're Canisius, you got to figure out a way to get something done defensively. You got to come up with stops, may have to force some turnovers to make up a 9-point deficit this late.
Robinson into the lane. Nice job finding Stewart for 2.
And good patience once he got into the lane. Didn't panic. Let the play develop. Now Logans has him pinned on the back. Doesn't get a touch. Got to throw it inside. Put some pressure on the defense.
Miles called for the foul, trying to keep Coles from penetrating. 4th foul on Anthony Miles. And that's the 8th against Ryder. Canisius has 16 fouls. So Cole shooting a 1-and-1.
Now here's where you've got to be able to convert from the line, get right up in that full court pressure. They've been able to force the ball into the dead corner 2 different times. They got them set in a trap. Once they got bailed out with a ticky-tack foul. Second time, they were able to force the turnover. Logan's up with the ball pressure. He's going to trap it as soon as it comes in.
Here he comes, but Goldsberry was late getting to him. And so Gadsden breaks it easily, and Miles makes him pay.
Now you are set up on a made foul shot. You got to keep people in front of you. Funnel them into that trap. You can't allow them to get out in transition that easily.
Well, again, Ringgold staying behind the play with that limp. But he didn't need to hustle up court that time because Novar Gadsden, 6'7", 230-pound teammate, able to run the break just fine. Miles completes the 3-point play.
And Miles with a good game here tonight in his first career start in double figures.
Goldsberry drops it off to Frazier. He elevates and gets the roll. Timeout, Canisius. Frazier's had a real nice second half, up to 17 points now to lead all scorers. And the lead back down to 10, but with only 2:38 on the clock, the Golden Griffins are running out of time. The MAAC now has an app for your iPhone, iPad, or iPod. The app delivers instant updates, including MAAC news, scores, and standings, straight to your iPhone, iPad, or iPod. Log on to the iTunes Store, search MAAC Sports, and download your free MAAC app today. Just some more great ways to keep track of MAAC madness as we are here at the MAAC Championships in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Fairfield, St. Peter's, and Iona have already advanced in our earlier quarterfinal action here today. And so far it has been all chalk. And in this ball game, Rider, the 3 seed, leading Canisius, the 6 seed, with 2:38 on the clock. And still Ringgold remains on the floor. Nice job of playing hot potato with the basketball. And he stays in the backcourt as timeout is called by Tommy Dempsey.
Well, twofold. Limpin coming up, certainly he's bothered with that, but he also don't want to come up into the front court so that he can touch the basketball and get fouled immediately. Again, knowing who you are as a player. One of the things that all players need to do is you got to look yourself in the mirror. Some guys convince themselves that they're a different player than they actually are. That's not the case with Ringgold. He knows what he does well and what he doesn't do well, and he plays to his strength and tries to make sure he doesn't put himself in a situation where his weaknesses are going to be a problem.
No surprise as we go to our Pepsi MAAC Slam of the game that it's Elton Frazier delivering our Pepsi MAAC Slam of the game. We had a couple of choices from Mr. Frazier tonight, and we go with that one where he drew the contact, yet still was able to finish.
There's where you got to give up the foul. Good smart play by Coles. He was trying to give up the foul. Stewart only a 55% foul shooter. Instead, they end up giving the foul against Miles, another guy who struggles from the line at just 47%.
Well, in spite of some of those ugly individual numbers, Rider has hit 14 of 15 from the line so far here tonight.
That was one of our keys, getting to the line, because they do a good job of putting some pressure on you. And they've held the line by converting from 15 feet away. And you see Miles' stroke there. Hard to believe he's just at 47% on the season. One of the things in the offseason he's got to be able to work on.
Willis Reed back into the game. Mike Ringgold. Well, I tell you, Miles does not look like a poor free throw shooter based on the form. He is a perfect 5 for 5 here tonight.
He's got that little lean back instead of leaning forward, but that's something that he should be able to clean up in the offseason.
Throws to Frazier, blocked by Gadsden. Vasquez Simmons missed the putback. 2 minutes left in regulation, and the foul goes against Rider. They had Coles bottled up, but Miles called for the reach-in.
And Miles, a couple of times late in the game here, has given up some unnecessary fouls, and because of that, he's now fouled out. You're up by 12, and you got somebody pinned along the sideline. Can't be over-aggressive and bail him out by putting him to the foul line.
Nonetheless, a productive performance for Anthony Miles. 13 points for the 6'5 freshman from Dover, Delaware.
As we said, tonight his first career start, so pretty tough spot when you're a freshman, and all of a sudden the first start of your career is going to be in a game where win it advance, and certainly he was up to the task right from the get-go.
With Jonathan Thompson suspended, Miles got the start. Patrick Mansell also got extended minutes and continues to. Mansell back into the ball game. Coles now with 11. Here's Ringgold, can't get rid of the basketball fast enough, gets it to Mansell, who has not gone to the free throw line yet this year. Well, good morning to those of you watching on the East Coast. We have just gone past midnight, as we typically do here at the MAAC Championship on quarterfinal Saturday. Glad you could stay with us on this late night, early morning in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And so somebody had to point Patrick Mansell to where the free throw line is.
How about this? He hasn't missed a foul shot since his freshman year, but as you said, hasn't been there this year. Was only there a couple of times last year as a junior. If that's not the kiss of death, I mean, come on. Up, see, he's too good of a shooter for us to give him the whammy.
Well, 2 more games coming up later today. Yes, later today, Sunday, beginning at 2 p.m. Eastern. Our MAAC semifinals. And based on the crowd we had for the afternoon session today in support of the hometown Fairfield Stags, I would imagine we'll have a terrific crowd again tomorrow afternoon to watch the Stags try to hold serve.
I agree. Canisius able to roll the ball all the way up the floor and then call the timeout. Down by 12 now. Tom Parada's team's got to start thinking about some three-point shots. If you're going to close a 12-point gap in the last minute 52, you got to do something special, including knocking down some threes.
The 2011 MAAC Baseball Championship returns to Waterfront Park in Trenton, New Jersey, May 25th through the 29th. All session tickets are on sale for $25 apiece, and daily passes are available for $10 each. For more information, visit MAACsports.com. All right, once again, let's go back to the third member of our crew, Joe Boylan. And Joe, what are your thoughts here late in the second half?
Well, you got to be impressed with the way Riders controlled the game coming out of the start of the second half. And, they got the lead. They kept the lead. They played very smart. They made shots. And I think the semifinals are really going to be terrific. As Rob, you've indicated, great defensive struggle the first game. And who knows, you could score in the hundreds with these two teams the second game. Of all 4 teams, you have to say Iona's been the most impressive and Fairfield right behind them. Should be fun tomorrow. Today.
That's right.
Fun today.
At about 12:03 a.m., absolutely.
Yep, and they will be 2 contrasting styles. Rock fight in the first game with St. Peter's and Fairfield going after it, and a track meet in the second. Tell you what, Joe retired. This has got to be past your bedtime now here, right?
Absolutely.
Past midnight.
Especially me.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying.
He was asleep. We just woke him up.
I appreciate your help, guys.
Even half asleep, his analysis has been right on point. Great to have him joining us, the former longtime Rutgers assistant coach and longtime athletic director at Loyola University. Retired how long now, Joe?
Since July, although some people said I retired when I got the job. So. Hey, it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to more. Thanks for putting up with me.
No, it's a pleasure. Couple of free throws by Justin Robinson gives Ryder its largest lead of the night.
Gadsden got himself in trouble. You see Robinson going over there saying, hey, get me the basketball. Don't be spinning around. Nearly turned it over.
Big collision, blocking foul against Logans as he and Gadsden came together.
Well, that'll be a big story here today. Think about it. We're already past midnight. Going to be a late night for these Ryder Broncs. They're staying down in Norwalk, so they got another 20-minute drive when this ball game's over. You see the ice on Ringgold's ankle. We saw him go down. Weren't quite sure where he was, but doesn't have a whole lot of time, Doug, for the bounce back.
No.
Remember, we start our first game at 2 o'clock, so you expect them to come back around 4:30. He's not going to have a whole lot of time to be able to address what looks like an ankle injury that certainly had him limping around. Now, I'll say this, though, about Mike Ringgold. He's a guy who, if anybody's going to come back from a twisted ankle,
he's going to play.
Yeah, he's not going to worry about that. You think back to their freshman year when they were able to get all the way to the final. It was a turned ankle by Justin Robinson in the first round in the quarterfinals again that knocked him out for the rest of the MAAC tournament. Other guys stepped up to be able to get them all the way to the final, but Ringgold's a big part of what this Ryder Bronx team does, and they're going to need him on the floor in a game where you know it's going to go up and down against Iona, the hottest team in the MAAC. Mike Ringgold, again, the catalyst, gets so many things done, most importantly, making winning plays. Whether it's rebounding the basketball, passing it, making a smart play, giving them that toughness. Defensively, he can go guard 5 guys. They're going to need his ability out on the floor tomorrow if they're going to be able to match up against a very good Iona team that looks like they're on one heck of a run.
But unlike a guy who may be a spot-up shooter or a plotting post player, if you take one of his ankles away, that takes away what Mike Ringgold brings to the table.
Yeah, good point. He's got to be able to fly around the floor and make things happen.
Foul given up by Logans. Well, our Pepsi Max player of the game is Mike Ringgold. Very efficient, as usual. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 12 points. Plays within himself. One of those phrases you hear in athletics all the time, but he epitomizes that. And keep in mind, Justin Robinson got dinged up a little bit here tonight as well. But at this time of year, you're not afforded the luxury of any sort of turnaround time.
Nope, and that's why it's always so tough, especially in the mid-major conferences where really, it's one and done. If you want to be in the dance, you got to make sure that you are able to bounce back, and that's all it takes sometimes. So you can go through your regular season, play great, win a regular season championship. All of a sudden, you're in the tournament, and one of your star players gets hurt, and all of a sudden, sometimes it's too much to overcome.
And then how about this Canisius senior class as the Ryder fans come to their feet? All 5 seniors already working on their graduate degrees, all got their undergraduate work done in 3 years, and they have helped to build this program to respectability.
Yeah, back-to-back 15-win seasons for the first time since back in 1997. And not only what they've done on the court, but for all 5 guys to have already graduated and working on their graduate degrees says something not only about this senior class, but Tom Parada and his staff making sure that it's more than just playing. And he wants to salute those 5 seniors. Great scene as Tom Parada comes out. That's certainly a tough way to end your career. He appreciates what those 5 guys have done, not only for the program, but for himself.
And good for Tom to take that time out so he could salute and say thank you to those guys. And it also gives the folks who've made the trip here from Buffalo a chance to recognize that 5-star.
And how about the crowd? This Ryder crowd, I'll tell you what, they've got more people than I've ever seen them have at a MAAC tournament. They stayed. We're past midnight. They're on their feet, and a good contingent in gold and blue as well.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. There's no question about it. I don't remember a neutral site late quarterfinal game to have this sort of crowd as we've had here this evening.
Especially with a 15-point gap, most people would have left. So it's been all chalk here today, and clearly there's been some separation between the top 4 teams in the league all season long. And we've got ourselves the top 4 teams advancing.
Joe, one last thought?
Tell you, what Tom just did there tells you a lot about, not just as a coach, as a person, because it'll mean a lot to those kids, not just tonight, but years down the road.
No question about it, Joe. Tough way to end it for Canisius, but it's always a tough way to end when you see your season and your career for these seniors come to an end. But a classy move again by Coach Parada. Ryder, Tommy Dempsey's club, survives and advances.
And for the 4th consecutive year into the semifinals, and now 5 out of the last 7 years, this group of seniors got to the championship game as freshmen. They want to get back there, but I think one of the keys is going to be how Mike Ringgold bounces back. We saw him with the ice on his ankle late. Whether or not he's going to be full strength for Tommy Dempsey or not later today.
And there you see Mike Ringgold with the ice pack and the limp. How will he be for the semis tomorrow late afternoon? Oh, you never see the pain on his face.
No, and I tell you what, he may be limping off, but I'll bet you $1 or $2 he's going to be running around this floor.
I would imagine
he's not going to let a little ankle sprain hold him back. He's too tough.
Take one more look at our New York Life Spark Energy MAAC Championships men's brackets. Our final four: Fairfield, St. Peter's, Ryder, and Iona.
So we got our rock fight at 2 o'clock. Two of the best two top defensive teams in the MAAC. Two of the best defensive teams in the country going head-to-head. And on the other side, the two best offensive teams in the MAAC, Iona and Ryder. Two contrasting styles, but I love the way that they're both matched up.
All right, once again, our final score in quarterfinal number 4. Ryder 79, Canisius 64. Join us later this afternoon beginning at 2 o'clock Eastern as our coverage of the Spark Energy MAAC Basketball Championships continues with the men's semifinals beginning with St. Peter's against Fairfield, followed by Ryder against Iona. Check your local listings. For Joe Boylan, for Rob Kennedy, and for our entire crew that's done a terrific job on a long day, I'm Doug Sherman. The proceeding has been a presentation of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.